Red Bull have been quite optimistic about their pace regarding the 2025 preseason test in Bahrain, as Verstappen opened up about the pace of the RB21. After winning the championship with the third fastest car last year, the Dutchman has been very vocal about the early signs of dominance with the 2025 Challenger, and it might be a lot better than what we hoped for, even though the changes are almost invisible. He has explained that a lot of work has been done regarding the RB21. So, with this in mind, what can Red Bull give us ahead of the 2025 season? There is no doubt that Red Bull is one of the teams that has drawn a lot of attention regarding the 2025 preseason test, primarily because they were very secretive when it comes to the car itself. However, now that the curtains have fallen, there isn't too much to be looking forward to, and it seems like the performance of the car might be a lot better than we could have hoped for. When talking about it, Verstappen, the man who set the third fastest time on the first day in Bahrain after clocking in 74 laps, has gone on to say, "In terms of driving, everything felt good, only good surprises, so that is positive. We don't know yet where we are in terms of pace, but everything works well, and the car does what I want. We have everything under control, and that is the only thing we can hope for at the start of my test." Of course, the situation cannot be assessed so early after just a couple of hours of running, but being positive after these few hours is definitely what you want to hear. After having a troublesome campaign last year, Verstappen did win the championship, but ultimately it was with the third fastest car. The Dutchman was adamant that if the development curve continued the way it did in the second half of the 2024 season, there was no way he was going to win the championship. But now in Bahrain, we are seeing a different, more confident version of Max. While his teammate Lawson would need a bit more time to acclimatize to the car, especially after the spin he had, which revealed airflow to the side pod for their rivals, that wouldn't affect Red Bull too much. Verstappen is happy with what they have gone through on the first day, and this joy has been shared by Helmut Marko as well. The veteran Austrian added, "What I can say is that Max had a very good long run, and he feels the car better than last year's model. The new car also reacts more predictably. Those were our weaknesses in 2024, so it looks like we've taken a step forward." I know that many of you take statements from Marco with a pinch of salt, rightfully so, because whenever he's gone on to talk about the performance of the car, it has often turned out to be quite the opposite. The upgrades, of course, didn't work at all in the mid-season development war in 2024, so this is a scenario that Red Bull will try to avoid at all costs heading into the new season. While the Constructors' Championship might be out of reach, since they will depend on a semi-rookie to perform extraordinarily well. Apart from Verstappen's talent and speed, the driver's category is the primary goal for the Austrian team. When Verstappen exited the pits, it was easy to see that he struggled to put the car in the right operating window. He almost lost it in the first 3 laps of preseason testing, and rightfully so. You would expect that Verstappen would bounce back and put in a solid number of laps with decent race pace. We are constantly learning and trying different things, and we are going to continue to do that. It's not about driving the perfect lap, but about working on our test program and learning in which direction we need to develop the car to get it under control. Elaborating further on this, the team principal of Red Bull was adamant that while you can't see everything with the naked eye, the details below the car are what bring them a lot of confidence heading into the first race in Melbourne. As he said, "I think that in this cycle of regulations, it's clear that the cars have converged and that they look very similar. I think probably Ferrari is a standout as being a differentiator, but it's inevitable that marginal gains are going to be there every season. Every surface on our car is different from last year. It just looks similar because it's a similar philosophy. But you can see other cars have converged with that. We've had a good winter. We've prepared well. I think this car, while it doesn't look hugely different from last year's car, is subtly different in many areas, particularly in the areas that you can't see. This season is going to be all about evolution. It's going to be about trying to get incremental bits of performance, and there will be a development race from Melbourne all the way to Abu Dhabi again." Elaborating further on this, Colin said, "There will be 9 teams and factories, well, 10 teams, actually, with a new team joining next season, screen grabbing that shot we just saw from Lawson spinning. Red Bull won't be that team. They'll be a bit grumpy because everybody's got to see what their flow visualization is doing down their side pod with that lovely footage from the pit lane. Teams absolutely hate when their rivals can have a good look at their flow visualization. You are giving away the invisible secret of every Formula One car, how the airflow is actually working. With all this in mind, do you think Red Bull has a genuine chance of winning a fifth consecutive championship in the drivers' category? And more importantly, do you think Verstappen would cement his legacy in the sport by doing so? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're interested in the sandbagging that Ferrari implemented very early in Bahrain, make sure to check out the video appearing on your screen right now.